After the grand celebration, Ayo was escorted to Ada's homestead, where his family welcomed her with ululations and songs. The elder wives, dressed in brightly colored wrappers, adorned her with coral beads and scented oils, signifying her acceptance into the household. Ayo, raised with wisdom and humility, carried herself with grace. She was diligent in her duties, respectful to the elder wives, and never stirred conflict. The compound flourished in harmony. A year later, Ayo became pregnant. The village erupted in joyous celebrations. Drummers played the bata and talking drums, griots sang praises of Ada's household, and elders blessed Ayo's womb with prayers for a strong and healthy child. But while everyone rejoiced, Ayo's heart remained heavy. She knew her time in this world was drawing to an end. Alone in her hut, she wept silently, her hands resting on her growing belly, knowing she would have to leave her child behind. Her day, however, remained unusually quiet. His eyes carried an unreadable depth, and though he continued to provide for her, he never spoke of the pregnancy with excitement. As Ayo's pregnancy neared full term, Ade made an unexpected decision. He sent her back to her father's compound. His family was shocked. Why send her away now, when she is almost due? They whispered among themselves. But Ade, a man known for his wisdom, offered no explanation, and no one dared to question him. On the morning of her 21st birthday, as the first rays of dawn stretched across the land, Ayo went into labor. The village midwife, an elderly woman with cowrie-adorned braids, led the birthing rites, chanting ancestral prayers to guide Ayo and the unborn child safely into the world. Timmy, her father, sent a swift-footed messenger to Ade, carrying the urgent news. When the messenger arrived at Ade's compound, Ade merely nodded, expressionless. But the moment the messenger left, Ade sprang to his feet, seized his well-worn cutlass, and disappeared into the dense forest. He moved like a leopard, swift and sure, his heart pounding in rhythm with the echoes of ancient spirits. When he reached the towering Iroko tree, the sacred place where Ayo and her sisters had once buried their beads, he fell to his knees and began digging. Sweat dripped from his brow as his fingers brushed against the cold, buried coral bead. Clutching it tightly, he rose and left. Back at Timmy's compound, Ayo had delivered a beautiful baby girl. The midwife and village women rejoiced, dancing in circles as they sang praises to the ancestors. But the joy was short-lived. Ayo's breath grew shallow, and her skin lost its warmth. The midwife cried out, calling for herbs, for healers, for the gods themselves, but nothing could stop what was happening. As the women wailed, Ayo exhaled her final breath. In the spirit realm, Ayo arrived at the sacred Iroko tree. Her sisters stood before her, their eyes bright like the moon, each holding their coral bead. But when Ayo reached for hers, her hands met empty air. It was gone. One of her sisters stepped forward, sorrow in her gaze. You cannot come with us. Go back, the other added. Find your bead. Only then can you return home. With that, they turned and disappeared into the golden mist, leaving Ayo stranded between worlds. Back in the mortal realm, a wild spirit drifted toward her family's compound. There, she saw Ade kneeling beside her lifeless body, his head bowed in silent triumph. When he lifted his gaze, their eyes locked. At that moment, Ayo understood everything. With a sharp gasp, she jolted back into her body. She coughed, her chest heaving as air filled her lungs again. The compound erupted in jubilation. Women ululated, Timmy raised his hands in thanks to the gods, and the midwife wept tears of joy. But Ayo sat in silence. She knew the truth, she had been stolen from her destiny. And now, she was bound to the world of the living.